Hi, how are you today? So, I am going to try my best to make it a quicker live stream if I can, but it's also like good luck with that because I've pulled up a bunch of shit to look at, but I'm going to try not to spend too much time on it all. Because I was up early, I had a long day, but I did want to make sure that I spent some time to cover something today that I found at the end of last night's live stream. Well, two things. One, the most important one to me right now, I found at the end of last night's live stream, and I wanted to make sure I took some time to really highlight that at the beginning today and just kind of focus on like pushing that information out there so people understand how potential issues could be handled within an organization regarding the red dress run refund. Um, and so we're gonna look at the backstory that came out on that last night. Um, and then we're also gonna look into a bit more commentary into Red Dress Run. I found another article on it that I haven't covered as well from WGNO. We'll just take a little look at. And then I also pulled up in the Coffeezilla live stream we watched last night. They mentioned Shark Tank. Um, and fucking, I want to just like pull that back up and get that quote again about what they said. But basically they were saying that Shark Tank didn't hire real people for the investors, allegedly. And so I pulled up what sources I could find regarding the concept of Shark Tank having fake investors. And that's fake, not think. FAKE. Um, the captioner was wrong. I was saying that, but whatever, fuck, shit. I'm hoping the other captioner get that right. Or maybe I said the wrong thing. But, fucking, if you're deaf and you didn't hear what the fuck I said, all you need to know is that allegedly the investors on Shark Tank are potentially not actually real investors. Okay. Fucking, so we're gonna look at some material regarding that, and then we're just gonna sum up regarding how thinking on value alignment, of course, as we've been doing in business, and considering like how both of these organizations seem to be handling organizational issues, and the PR that kind of surrounds that. I didn't say patriarch, I said PR. That kind of. I said the PR that kind of. There we go. Fuck it. No, I said there we go. God damn. Okay, fuck shit. I'm gonna roll my fucking intro and we get started. Fuck this stupid ass captioner. Fucking fuck you. Hi, my name is Lexie, also known as and doing business as Deaf Child. In 2022, my company was listed as number 14 Best Louisiana Events Companies and Startups. I have been doing business as Deaf Child since 2013. I have my Bachelor of Science in Music Industry Studies and Business Administration, and deafness runs in my family genetically. Speech is not fully accessible to me. And I've got about 50 certifications in marketing and sales that you can find at noladeafchild.com. So, it was in this live stream here that I did last night, Perceiving in the Evening, did Neil Patel Still Marketing Coffee? More no Red Dress Run commentary. Well, no RDR. New Orleans. Fucking, in this live stream at the end here, we got the segment on New Orleans Red Dress Run Hash House Harriers. Around the 2-hour 30 mark is where the post comes in, where I found out about the information we're about to cover in a minute here again. So this is just kind of the follow-up from this live stream in that area. And another fucking thing that we covered in this live stream is during the Neil Patel, I believe this happened in, part one, towards the end of part 1 here. During this Coffeezilla video with this interview with this dude's name I can't pronounce, Jason something. I went past it. Oh, yeah, I can't pronounce that. Jason Calacanis. I don't know. All right, and the story's fake flooding clubhouse video. It's a Coffeezilla video or whatever, and I found that from this Reddit thread. But in here, they start fucking talking about Shark Tank, and so that's where the Shark Tank coverage came from in today's live stream as well. And so yeah, y'all can find sources, you know, from some of this original material regarding all of that linked in the description of this video, if anything. You know. And then the original video that I did on the refund situation that we're about to look at all together was called The Rise and Shine New Orleans Red Dress Run Issues Refunds PR Crisis Hair Spreadsheet Updates. And at that time, I thought that they were issuing refunds generally from the post. Or like that they were beginning to issue refunds. So I did add in here with a bold little like thing. As far as I know, one person has publicly reported being refunded so far. I am assuming there will be more refunds. The refund issued was allegedly part of fundraising for multiple donations and $104. So, and by allegedly part of fundraising for multiple donations, I mean in terms of what Red Dress Run claims that they do with the money. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I'm spacey because for a second I was looking at the captioner that's in the video, like, why isn't this captioner moving? Is my captioner not right? Oh yeah, no, wrong captioner. Anyway, fucking, but, so in that video, we discussed the refund situation, and I found out that the refund was issued in here, and this is discussed just around the 6.5 minute mark. Yeah, around 6:10 is where that starts to go. And it was without being asked and with a message. So if you want to see the message and see my commentary on the specific message that was attached with the refund, that's in this video. And that's linked in the description of the live stream here also. So yeah. As well as my original sources regarding this coverage. Okay. So moving on. Today's post that I really want to highlight and kind of focus on. I honestly do not know how to say her last name, and I'm fucking probably really should have asked. So I did ask for permission to use the post in the live streams. I forgot to ask how to pronounce last name. I apologize. So I am assuming that it's potentially Julie Ariyama, but I don't think that might be right. So I apologize if that is wrong. So yeah, but we're just gonna say Julie. She made a post speaking out about New Orleans Red Dress Run. And I'm going to leave out my commentary on it for at this time. If y'all want to see my overall thoughts on the issue, that was in the live stream I just showed you before, if you want to go watch that. But I will just read real quick what this post says. It says, so, this is what happens when I speak up and say something. I got banned, and NOH3 refunded my registration. That goes to charity with this lovely note. I was not speaking out about the NOLA Red Dress Run event, but about some of the mismanagement, about being bigots behind closed doors. I am not saying the kennel itself is bigoted, because there are a lot of great people and it is a great charity event. I've tolerated a lot of things some of the members have said at a closed event, and I've tolerated a lot of mean girls in the group because they have their own circle. I know a lot of people in that kennel will stay silent because they tolerate it, but I will not tolerate it anymore. I have other hashers that left the kennel because of horrible decisions, like letting men who have assaulted other women in the kennel, still welcoming them with open arms, and telling the woman that there are two sides to the story. While the dude left the woman with a concussion, and she also had to get a restraining order. So I guess they are okay with dudes hitting women then. Other hashers who have left, and also hashers who have visited and had horrible experiences while visiting, has chimed in as well. The story made the news here in Louisiana and South Carolina, as well as blowing up on Reddit. Actually, SC. I'm sorry, I said South Carolina without thinking about it. I don't know what SC is. Could be St. Charles. Hmm. I apologize. Okay. I do not condone domestic violence, assault, drugging and raping women, anti-LGBTQ, racism, or downright treating people like they are not good enough. I don't need excuses like they grew up in a different time either. It's a different time and things need to evolve. Respect is earned when you respect people and have some humanity. The world is already shitty enough. Stop being so privileged and entitled. So, originally, I believed we were all kind of thinking like with the time and that this could be a result specifically of the transphobic fallout commentary. But it turns out this is regarding other issues within the culture itself. And not only issues within the culture, but issues within the culture that I pointed out um, previously in my analysis of the situation, particularly in the perceiving of the evening one where I did like the hymns. Let me double check real quick which one that was. The perceiving in the evening, the New Orleans Red Dress Run follow-up, hash House Harriers website change. In that one, I do a lyrical analysis. Let me get the link here. And wait, before I get the link, I'm going to just pull this up real quick. I apologize. Um, okay, so I'm putting the link into the description of this live stream now. And then now I am pulling up the live stream I'm speaking on just to show you. So, in this live stream, it's called Perceiving in the Evening, New Orleans Red Dress Run Follow-Up, Hash House Harriers website change. I do a hash hymnal reaction. And in here, there's one of them that talks about prying, P-R-Y, prying legs, woman's legs open. So in this hymnal right here, I have to pry someone's legs apart. It says Charlie pried her legs apart at the gangbang. And it says Charlie pried. You know what I'm saying? So this is on the New Orleans Hash House Harriers website. And I just want y'all to keep this in mind, like the type of culture that they promote, like all of the fucking things. I feel like it's super focused on like male gratitude. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's super focused on male gratitude, and it's very degrading to women. It would be a little degrading to men in terms of upholding this concept of misogyny, like talking about small dicks and things like that. But I don't even know, like I said, concept of misogyny, but I meant to say patriarchy. But you know, it upholds misogyny too. But yeah, so um, right. Putting that out there, if you want to just reflect on the type of culture that they sing about, you know what I'm saying? Um and then it's this her story is shared with a graphic, and it shows an original screenshot of the meme itself. Um and you can check the playlist. I have a 10-minute summary where I summarize the meme in there. As well as it's summarized, I think, in a lot of the other live streams on this. Like the first three, I definitely summarized the meme in there, so you can go check those out if you don't know about it already. Um, but the refund, it says, sorry to hear about your feelings towards NO We're refunding your registration fee so that you're not forced to hang out with bigots. And if you want to see my commentary on that, you can see the original issue refund live stream that I did. And someone, yeah, and then fucking, so she shared that with a Reddit post comment on it, or it says, this is not the way to handle people speaking out against the transphobic behavior. There's a screenshot of part of the original statement, that was the original apology published by Red Dress Run, as well as the statement from the Red Dress Run board of directors, and a Facebook post from WLTX News. Um, so yeah, fucking that post is linked in the description um, of this live stream. And I just kind of want to highlight like this post, and you reflect on the culture um, and association. Like I did the lyrical analysis on the hymns, and you can go check out the website yourself, and you just reflect on the type of mentality that kind of seems to be upheld there, in my opinion. You just let that marinate and think for yourself on whether or not you think that's a safe space for you to be in. So there's not much more commentary. So this is I was looking for more commentary on this original post we've been following along, where I've been kind of finding a bit more information on the whole situation. Like I found out originally about the refund from here. I think I found out about one of the Reddit threads from here and things like that. Um, there's not much update here. Um, there is someone here, though, that has a comment with a similar sentiment to that kind of reiterates the type of culture and environment that Julie was speaking on, as well as the type of energy I felt from the lyrical analysis from their hymns, HYMNX. So one comment from April says, all I know is that you ruin my goddamn birthday every fucking year with your homophobic frat boys that are repulsive and drunk and groping, and it's not a damn tradition. Because it wasn't around 20 years ago when I moved here. So shut up with that. Actually, it was. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she didn't know about it, but it was here. Okay. Move it out of the bywater and the quarter. I'm a service worker and you're destroying my birthday. Everyone's apartments, everyone's jobs. You add nothing by doing this to anyone. For years, no one wants us here. New Orleans is a charitable city. And we give. A lot. But this ain't it. Well, maybe she doesn't know about income disparity. 0 people want this here. 0. Nil. Zilch. Bye. Um, I definitely agree with the first 3 lines. well, I can't say anything about the 20 years ago when they moved here because I don't. Well, 20 years ago part, I don't know when the fuck they moved here about their life. I'm not arguing about them in their life. I'm just arguing about. I agree with the first two lines, but until this part where I'm like, well, I think they actually were here because I did some research into the history of them. But I do think that these first two lines, in my opinion, do speak to the type of mentality that you can expect at these types of events. And I believe that when you look at things like the host website, you can see how that type of culture is curated there. Um, as well as when you look at if the response to, and let's just take it back here real quick, if the response to allegations of being concerned about domestic violence for which there is a restraining order regarding and sexual assault is to kick you out and refund you your money instead of curating a safe space. But yet, at the same time, you don't want to tell people who made the transphobic post on Facebook. It seems like you don't have a problem with it seems like you don't really have a problem with putting yourself into political situations at all, do you, when you're kind of like doing things that are against the human rights of people who you claim to want in your organization? You know what I mean? Um yeah, let's just let this post. I'm gonna leave this post back up for a bit. I might come back to that. So yes, moving on Joe Smith, just wanted to highlight here was the original poster on social media for Facebook regarding the refund itself. Um, and that is where what I originally reported on as well. Um, and I don't know if anybody caught this or not, but he wanted to reiterate that it is not him on Reddit, and it is also not Julie that posted this on Reddit either. They made their own posts on Facebook, so they just want to put that out there. That's not them. Um, and it's not me either. Again. So yeah. Um, and then where is it? Do I see it? Did I miss it? Fucking. Oh yes, right here. Julie says that was my refund. Right here. Um, for at one time too, I wasn't sure like if they both got refunds, and then I realized, oh wait, this is her refund. I think, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? But so for someone to bring concern about sexual assault and abuse, and you be like, well, we're funding your fees so you don't have to hang out with bigots, instead of actually doing something to manage the sexual assault and abuse, just speaks volumes to me. In my opinion, if even whether or not the sexual assault and abuse occurred, if that is what happened, allegedly based on what we believe to be true from what we know, um, I just like where on a different post here, Julie says they banned me and refunded my Rego, um, for calling them out. And this was on a post from Lena Lee where she's talking about it and she had shared. And so, yeah, fucking. And then one person on here said it's always seemed to me that most of the drunk, sweaty, fucked up lunatics wandering around a corner in red dress run day had nothing to do with any charity event. They just wanted to party like a beast all day. I'd guess most people you see in that mob of red didn't donate a penny. Definitely not my scene. I mean, who cares about, like, fuck what they fucking donated to, too. So, yeah, there's not much new information there. I just, wanted to highlight, like, for this to be, what the response is for. And yeah, so today I go and I check for New Orleans Red Dress Run. You know what? I really think we're done here. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll just copy the link, but I think we're done here. So in New Orleans Red Dress Run today, they posted regarding the Warriors, and I just think that's so funny because recently we covered football case study capitalism perpetuates colonialism, and how is that relevant? Well, my friends, the Warriors that they're referring to, you see the blue and white here, they're referring to the East Jefferson Warriors of the greater New Orleans area, Jefferson, Louisiana, Jefferson Parish. Okay, now when we Google East Jefferson Warriors, what do we see here? Well, you may notice some feathers in their emblem. Okay. You may notice some feathers, and guess what else you may notice? Yeah, let this marinate. Let this marinate. I know they didn't. I know they didn't. Oh, they did. They fucking. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so you see the native caricature here, what you would believe to be what is the typical stereotypical native depiction here, and you'll see what's the what the fuck is this? Does this count as a mural, or I would call it more of a disgrace than a mural, but so you can see the imagery. So I did a live stream called Football Case Studies, Marketing Sunday, Capitalism Perpetuates Colonialism, Super Bowl Ad Impact. Well, in this live stream, part of what we cover is how is football an example of upholding colonialism under capitalism? Yay! And so in here we study race colonialism and the politics of Indian sports name and mascots. Here we go. And I've got two articles here on the Washington football team case. I actually think this is the same content, two links. We also have one here, how football shaped indigenous identity. And we also have one, symbol of erasure, exploitation, racism. Arizona community reacts to Washington nickname controversy. I also highly recommend watching this mascot video called Proud to Be regarding the situation. So y'all watch some of this content. You let it marinate. It covers the harm, some of the harm here and this imagery if you want to educate yourself on why that is so harmful. But to summarize it, depicting native identity as a mascot contributes to indigenous erasure, stereotyping, dehumanization, as well as the missing and murdered indigenous crisis. So let that all marinate. Indigenous people crisis. My goodness, my bad. Fucking, yeah. So, just in terms of when I'm talking about how Red Dress Run stems from colonialism and perpetuates colonialism, it's like the Reagan trickle-down effect we always dreamed of, am I right? Yeah. I'm wrong. I'm very wrong. So, I don't know if that was a good thing to say. I thought it was funny, but now I think I'm fucked up for that. Um, anyway, so WGNO has a new post called New Orleans Red Dress Run Organizers Address Former Board Members' Offensive Comments. Well, it's not that new because it's from August 2nd, 2024, which is a few days ago, but it's new to me in terms of, I just saw this fucking shit, okay? But it basically doesn't say too much new from what I understand. It's talking about the offensive comments. It's been removed. They quote the Red Dress Board of Directors statement we've covered a few times. This is probably the quickest write-up I've seen on it. Maybe the Yahoo one was quicker, but And it calls it a charity. It's basically telling people to tell people what time it is. Yeah, it's 30 years old. Fucking, so like you're saying it wasn't 20 years old, it's 30. Fucking organizer said since the beginning the event has raised more than 2 million. That I don't believe. But blah blah blah. Well, have they generated more than 2 million in revenue? Since the beginning, possibly. You know what? I could possibly believe that in 30 years. Have they donated 2 million? Highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. You know what I'm saying? The amount they say they're raised is not the amount they're claiming they donate. Let that sink in, guys. Let that sink in. Yeah, I might need to do a different live stream on the concept of if nonprofits donate all the money they raise. Anyway, so that's the article. I was hoping they would, like, some of the articles, they would provide additional commentary, such as, like, quotes from community members or a quote from that Bill Haley fuck, you know? So I feel like this one is just very, like, well, it really seems like its main purpose is more of a press release to get people to register. It's just telling people to go register. So I perceive this more as PR crisis management on the board's part, potentially, in my opinion. Um, Alright, so from there we've got Yelp. I figure we could just check out a couple of reviews and see what people are saying. So maybe it'll load for me now, but I don't know if it will. Earlier, all of the reviews weren't loading for me on Yelp for some fucking reason. But in the review highlights, it does show me in the middle here. It says there may have been a day when it was actually a race, but other than a starting/finishing line, I didn't see any sign of runners in 5 reviews. Now that could be a matter of timing, but there are a lot of complaints in the community that I know of where people say it's like really not even a race, it's just a fucking bar crawl. So, let that marinate. And so this is what I was saying where the reviews are not loading for me. I pulled this up and I let it sit for a long time at one point, just trying to see if I could get the reviews to load, and it wasn't loading. Let's try refreshing and see. Um, this web page just doesn't want to load for me for whatever reason. So I'm gonna give up on it, but it's linked in the description of the video. So from there, we're just gonna have to look at TripAdvisor. Now, TripAdvisor does have 22,853 reviews, which is a lot of reviews, and they do have about 4.5 stars, or I don't know. I guess these are like circles, but let's call it like a 4.5 out of 5 rating, which is pretty good for the volume of reviews they have. But because we are discussing controversy within Red Dress Run, I'm just going to take a look at some of the bad reviews. So I clicked the terrible review here, but there's 394 of those, so we're definitely not going to look at all of those. So I did just click English, so we can see 375 here. Yeah, and since Red Dress Run is typically in August in New Orleans, I'm just going to click August because that leads to 103. So that way we can see some of the reviews that are more fresh on people's mind when the thing that they're leaving a review about occurred, because it always happens the second weekend of August in New Orleans. So yeah. Oh, it looks like this is about French Quarter in general. Don't know why I thought I pulled up. Oh, it was just one review about Red Dress Run, but it's a review of the French Quarter. I lied. Okay, I apologize. We're just going to look at this one review. So, it says, for our first visit to the French Quarter, I was pleasantly surprised at how safe and clean the overall area was. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, I obviously don't agree with this review on premise because I don't perceive the French Quarter as a safe place or a clean place. And now I kind of need my best friend to go take me to the French Quarter so I can document how disgusting it is. Or I might find, if I can find like there's like New Orleans webcams. I might do some like New Orleans live webcam if I can find some and show you guys. I might do that if I don't have to even leave my fucking house. But now I think that needs to be a whole nother live stream. Like, are you kidding me? Um, shit, I really should have. Normally, I write down the live stream ideas I have in a live stream, and today I didn't do that, and I had to. That sucks for me. Anyway, and then it says, I didn't see much of a run going on, but saw a great deal of alcohol consumption. Yep. You could not get away from this group no matter which street you turned down. Yep. I love the quaintness of the area. We drove back the next morning before leaving, and while Bourbon Street the prior night was a mess, and there was no signs of anything having gone on by 9 a.m. the next morning. I thought that was nice to see. Well, there are cleanup crews that come through and clean up a good bit of the mess, but it's still pretty fucking disgusting. In the French Quarter, even after the cleanup. Let's see in the review if they're, okay, that's it. Well then let's just go all the reviews real quick and see. Oh, no, it's too many. Never mind. We going through all that. Fuck that. That's too many pages. Okay. Should have done more prep on that. Alright. This wasn't what I thought it was. Shit happens. You know, this is what happens when you do too much and you don't pay attention before a live stream. So, if you're hosting your own live stream, I highly recommend doing more prep to ensure that you are paying attention to the sources you are pulling up. But yes, I believe this concludes our coverage today on the red dress run portion of the live stream. So today what we covered there, we looked at the red dress run coverage that I did last night from Perceiving in the Evening, Did Neil Patel Still Marketing Copy? The analysis, the more New Orleans red dress run commentary video. So in that video is where I found out and discovered the backstory behind the refund. And in the Rise and Shine New Orleans Red Dress Run Issues Refunds PR Crisis Hair Spreadsheet Updates video, that's where I originally found out about the refund itself altogether. And then from there, we went into the background of the refund for the New Orleans Red Dress Run. And if you want to see additional commentary on that, you can check out the other video where I first found out about it. And we also looked at, I just wanted to highlight the HYMNS. Yeah, captioner does not like that word, so I just like spelled that one. I don't know. Fucking, but yeah. So that one, we did a lyrical analysis of that. We reflected on how I felt there could be a possible relationship between some of the allegations regarding Red Dress Run and the content that they put out themselves on their own website. So we looked at that. And we looked at just some of the additional Facebook commentary on Red Dress Run, as well as their recent post where they talk about the East Jefferson Warriors. And so then I show you how this still leads to upholding the perpetuation of colonialism through the caricaturization and the usage of native imagery in a way that is like a mascot. You know what I'm saying? So we reflected on that a little bit, and then we just checked out the article that I haven't covered yet from WGNO about the Red Dress Run transphobic post. And yeah, I don't feel I feel that didn't highlight the social issues there enough, in my opinion. And so then we just did a quick look at French Quarter TripAdvisor Red Dress Run review. I'm adjusting the video, the description here now to fix that. Change. Okay, so that was all of that. And so basically fucking what we can see here is reflect on what type of environment do you feel safe in, and how do you feel about the ways people handle social issues within community when you try to discuss abuse, discrimination, assault, domestic violence, and those types of issues. Because a lot of times it's like, I understand on some levels, it's not until you're in a situation and you see how people are reacting to a situation around you that you can then make the value alignment decisions for yourself in that community. But in regards to what, even regardless of what the truth of what the matter is of what occurred, when you reflect on what people are saying about the idea of these concepts occurring and what are their actions taken as a response of the idea of these things occurring, I think that also gives you a sense of value alignment to understand what they're going to be doing when these things occur. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, from there, I want to just kind of segue into a bit of a palate cleanser because we've been covering a lot of the red dress front with the transphobia and in relationship to the sexual assault culture, and it's a heavy topic. And so these last two live streams, I've attached the red dress run coverage with additional material for a palate cleanser for me so I can, take my mind off of the heavy shit while I still cover it. But yeah, from now on, we're gonna move into a bit of Shark Tank. So in last night's live stream, in the Neil Patel segment, um, the dude's name I can't pronounce, Jason Calacanis interview with Coffeezilla. In there, they mentioned that Shark Tank doesn't use real um people, and so that's what we are going to look at today. So yeah, so we're just gonna take a quick look at a 1 minute segment of this video, and this is just show you how I found out about the concept of are Shark Tanks actually on the video. So now, to lead up in the concept of this conversation, they were talking about how Neil Patel is fake. And in relationship to how Neil Patel is fake, and you can see my reaction to that, and you can watch this whole live stream. It's linked in the description of this video. They segue into mentioning Shark Tank, and what they say about Shark Tank was something I had never heard before. And so that was a concept that I decided to explore in today's live stream. And so now we're just going to take a look at real quick what it was they said, and then we're going to look into all of the sources I could find on this concept.
So the sharks from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban excluded because he's actually rich. He's actually rich, yeah. But I think the other sharks are not actually rich. And he had the one guy.
So that's all they say about Shark Tank. And where they say he had the one guy, I could be wrong because I'm not them. My understanding of the conversation is now they're back on Neil Patel because this is just a comment that's thrown in relationship to Neil Patel. So do oh shit, I forgot to unmute myself. So I'm just gonna reread what I had just said right here. So that's all they say about Shark Tank. And where they say he had the one guy, I could be wrong because I'm not them. My understanding of the conversation is now they're back on the old Patel because this is just a comment that's thrown in relationship to um, Patel. So yeah, fucking. And then I was just like, I'm gonna go back, but the captioner got part of that wrong, but most of it right, I think. So it's a bit difficult because sometimes I'll be repeating myself because I'll forget. Like this time, I forgot to mute, so I repeated myself because I wanted those who are listening in and not reading perhaps to hear what I said. And a lot of times, I'm usually repeating myself because I'm trying to fix the captioner. But you know, life is hard. Okay, let's move on. Fucking. But we're just going to do a quick replay on that statement real quick. Let this marry.
So the sharks from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban excluded because he's actually rich. He's actually rich, yeah. But I think the other sharks are not actually rich.
So they said the sharks from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban excluded because he's actually rich. But I think the other sharks are not actually rich, is what they just said. Okay. All right. I just read the transcript a little bit. It looks like they are still talking about Shark Tank, so we're gonna keep watching.
And he had the one guy do these videos on a yacht. Did you see those?
Oh yeah.
And I can tell you Neil Patel is not rich and doesn't own a yacht.
But they can rent a yacht.
They rented a yacht. And then which shark did he have on this?
Robert Herjavec.
Okay, so I don't know Robert. He seems like a nice guy, but Damien and Robert seem to do any paid speaking that you give them. If you give them $50,000,
I think they're speaking about sharks from Shark Tank right now.
they'll stand next to you. And then what these scumbags do in these courses and stuff is they take them, they give them 50,000. Then you, as an unsuspecting person, says, "Oh, they're from Shark Tank. They're billionaires." Well, they're not billionaires, or else they wouldn't need the $50,000 speaking gig.
Can I make it worse? So not only that, they ran. Robert ran real estate.
So that's what. So this is what we're. This is where I'm like, okay, getting exposed to the idea that perhaps Shark Tank, you know, like, okay, is Shark Tank fake? Are Shark Tank investors fake? This is where I see this concept, and so that's what sent me down into the rabbit hole in which today's live stream began. And let me just get this one more
seminar gig, which that's a gigantic scam industry, where it said like, oh, you're gonna meet this guy, blah blah blah, and then he wasn't actually at these events, and it's a boilerplate room where basically they're just trying to sell you on these like $20,000 seminars. Okay, that's him. Damon John is connected to Raging Bull, who, remember the FTC guy? Oh yeah, he had a video endorsing that guy because of course, like you said, $50,000. They'll do anything. I don't think he's ever said anything about that except to basically block people who talk to him about it. Then Damon John also got on a thing with Grant Cardone and
I saw your video of that.
Okay, let me go check real quick. So they're talking. I thought they mentioned shark. Okay, and they just kind of go into. Let's see. What? All right, yeah. Let's just leave it at that because that's the only two times they mentioned the concept of Shark Tank. If I'm not mistaken, I think they could be speaking about some of the investors, but I don't know for sure. I could be wrong about that. Oh, it looks like I just fucked something up. Hold up. Whoops, I don't know what the fuck I did there. How did that, when did I do that? Hold on. Alright, fixed that. Whoops. My bad. Okay, life is hard, so. Moving on. From Paste, we have an article here called How the Pandemic Broke the Lie of Shark Tank. So this is just one of those things that popped up when I was Googling the concept of, are Shark Tank investors fake? You know what I'm saying? And so for this one, it just kind of goes into the concept of capitalist optimalism, and how, you know, after the Shark Tank people people just kind of became aware of the realities of creating a business, and had more time to pay attention to some of the issues behind the show as well. Um, but yeah, people on this show talk about selling their houses just to be there. Um, and a lot of the tangents include a lot of the tangents, a lot of the pitches include tangents on how the entrepreneurs have been dealing with the pandemic lately. Um, and it's, and there'll be like a very big parallel between dangling millions or billions of dollars in front of you, and then people talking about, like, selling the home, loved ones dying, and things like that. But then it's back to business, or for the show or whatever. So the level of, like, yeah, exploitation of human condition versus the capitalization of humanity, in a way, you know what I mean? So yeah. Um, they talk about the sharks being rude to the people standing in front of them for the reality TV, calling them liars, con men, or even ungrateful. Um, because but theoretically they depict billionaires, you know what I mean? Which kind of like, what? Um, so yeah, people are talking about how it's just kind of like a dystopian novel because some entrepreneurs have businesses that already have millions of dollars in funding, but others are essentially begging for money because they're on the brink of losing everything. Don't go on a TV show if that's you. Um, so yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable. They shouldn't be allowing people on the show if that's where they're at, though. So that also feels like a show problem. Like, you know what I mean? Um, So yeah, and I say that because if you're already failing, scaling something that's failing won't make it succeed. And I'll have to do a whole nother live stream on that. But I basically think I have if you look at my marketing live streams. But okay. Um fucking in a hacker news forum from news.ycombinator.com, um there's people in here making some commentary about Shark Tank. And one here, Mark Cuban said in an interview that half of the deals made in the show fall apart during due diligence. Um, and that the article that we're about to look at now makes the guy sound desperate and like a failed business owner. Another dude is responding to that saying that they worked on Shark Tank. It is a lie, but not unlike almost every other TV show, with just enough truth to keep suspension of disbelief aloft. It was designed that way from the beginning. Almost all TV shows are designed this way. The lie is called entertainment. The subject of high stakes investing is ready made for TV. but no investor can adequately research a business in the 15 minutes it takes to shoot each pitch. And someone asked, is Mark Cuban's claim that he funds approximately half of the deals he makes in the show in the ballpark? I also remember him saying something about each pitch actually taking up to an hour. That is then cut down for TV. But you're saying it takes 15 minutes to shoot each pitch? Which is it? And they said, I can imagine that only Mark Cuban has access to that information as they are private companies. Mark definitely seems to have the entrepreneur's interests more in mind, but they are all quote-unquote sharks. Do you trust a shark who claims to have your best interest in mind? If they are good at what they do, yes. Other at the time they don't have your best interest in mind. And then someone else said, the edited pitch they have on this show are way too long to only have 15 minutes of raw footage. Surely the actual pitches are much longer than that. And the person said, the pitches can be shot between 15 to 16 minutes each. These are ballpark figures. Keep in mind, and I am sure that some pitches have taken longer. The point is, there's not enough time to make an informed decision. Production wants to shoot them as quickly as possible, as they are renting very expensive studio space and paying the talent for every shoot day. Shark Tank is very efficient as far as TV shows go. Some shows, like Big Brother, shoot 100 minutes for every 1 minute aired. Shark Tank is probably closer to 3 to 5 minutes shot for every 1 minute aired. It's more like a scripted show in that regard. Certainly, all the pitches are memorized and practiced well in advance. Someone asked my credentials. I worked on Shark Tank for 1 season as an editor. I have additional credits on The Voice and Sarah Palin's Alaska for Mark Burnett Productions. Fuck Sarah Palin. I also worked for 10 other production companies on about 25 to 30 shows for ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and Showtime. Some of them I don't remember. Some of them I would like to forget. Would that be Sarah Palin? For example, Famous in 12. And then he's going on about their fucking career. Ooh, someone said when I was on Shark Tank, our pitch took a little over an hour. Granted, we had a complicated audio requirements that took a while to set up, but the pitch lasted a long time. The beginning 1 minute pitch is memorized, but everything after that when sharks are asking questions is totally free for all. I was surprised and impressed by the professionalism and the speed of the production team. They had it down to almost an assembly line. Let's see if there's any more comments. Okie dokie. So now it just seems back and forth about whether the lawsuit is frivolous. So let's look at that lawsuit. Newton Inventor says Shark Tank is all a lie. From Boston Globe. Linked in the description of this video. This is what everybody is discussing. The first original topic of that discussion from the forum we just checked out. And I am noticing some more viewers coming in as we are watching live. And I just wanted to throw it out there. If you guys are here for the red dress run portion of the live stream, we did already cover that. You want to go take it back to the beginning if you want to check that bitch out. From here on out, we're on a palate cleanser. Just a reminder with Shark Tank. So right now, we're fucking talking about this Newton Inventor on Shark Tank was claiming that it's a lie because allegedly, after due diligence, the lawsuit his shit dropped and they didn't take him. Um, so he's trying to claim in the lawsuit that the show's producer didn't just fudge a few inconsequential details. Oop, I think I hiccuped and burped at the same time. For the sake of drama, they lied about nearly everything. And there was a verbal agreement made on air that two of the sharks would invest 200,000, but he never got any of the money. Um, and he followed the distribution deal. He signed the distribution deal in a follow-up episode, but nothing ever came out from that, and now he's trying to sue them. They do have in their contract, from my understanding, from the rules and regulations that are researched previously on Shark Tank, my understanding is it's made clear that they can drop out at any time if they want to. So I think that's possibly what could have happened there. But yeah, so we're just looking at, all the possible reasons, people are saying that perhaps it's fake investment. So from Medium, we have an article here called Shark Tank Ain't Real, Bro. And then its subheader is Why Millennial Entrepreneurs Should Never Watch Shark Tank Alone. And it goes on to say, it's entertaining and shit, but it's actually detrimental. And, yeah. So, the show can give consumer product companies a significant marketing and revenue boost, is one thing that it's saying. And the show's Mark Cuban says, quote unquote, anybody with an idea can see how the business process works, see that these are normal people, and that there's nothing magical about coming up with an idea. And this article is saying that the show's time constraints and focus on drama provide viewers with a highly distorted portrayal of how the business process works. And then it also says experienced entrepreneurs have no issues parsing where reality stops and entertainment begins. However, such distinctions are less clear to young entrepreneurs. Well then, I would say you might be wanting to talk to Gen Z at this point. When was this article written? Oh, okay, 2016. All right, I guess millennials is still your market. So yeah, it's just about entertainment. So he highlights a few Shark Tank distortions, one being partners, not sharks. He's talking about how the title conveys a predatory message, but accomplished investors will not want to gain an advantage at your expense. Pitch overvalued. Pitches are important, but they're not the focal point of fundraising in real life. That is true. So yeah, your relationship with your investors and understanding your numbers and doing the work and having a good offer is what matters in real life typically, my understanding. The compressed timeline, yeah, you're never gonna have maybe you will, but to my understanding, in reality, it's not common for that type of high pressure decisions to be made. In fact, it's typically advised against because that just leads to bad business decisions, in my opinion. The show, talks about how their pitch centered format makes the emphasis too much on the appeal of ideas over the entrepreneur's ability to create value. Yes, I love that. Lack of domain expertise. And they're talking about how you don't want, and typically you don't want an investor that doesn't know about your industry. And I agree with that too, because they're not going to be able to help you keep on track for success in that industry usually, typically. So, I haven't seen enough deals where they're talking about how entrepreneurs could be giving up more than 20% of the ownership. I haven't seen enough Shark Tank deals to see that, but that is a lot to give up if that is the case. It's talking about how, yeah, you're right, because it's talking about this is a very consumer centric show in order to appeal to the mass audience, but typically it's harder to get very big capital for those types of startups. They're typically crowdfunded or crowdsourced through industry partnerships or loans. And that's because you don't always want, it's better to slowly invest into inventory and scale it. And so that way you're not investing too much into product you don't know will sell or not. Typically with a startup, if you don't have a history of selling, it's not always the best idea to invest too much into something you don't know is going to be a viable offer or not, you know? Um, so they're also saying like if the publicity may not be good for you if it doesn't go well in the show also. Um, and I do think these are all good things to keep in mind when you want to reflect on ways that people might consider this as a fake concept. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they're saying enjoy the entertainment and drama, don't buy into the bullshit. So it really just focuses on the concept of the show itself rather than hammering too much on the investors. Now, I did find a Reddit thread, it's linked in the description, of course. It's called Shark Tank Season 1 Funds Invested versus Committed. And it's in the subreddit for Shark Tank India. And it just talks about season 1. If you look at this, it shows a graph of all of the investors, and it shows how much they commit compared to how much they invest. And only one of them invested more than she committed, and she's the only one that even got close. She invested more than she committed, but she's the only one that got close to actually matching what she committed to invest. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So fucking in Shark Tank, for LinkedIn on Shark Tank, there's an article by this dude named Ankit Uttam. I'm so sorry, I don't think I said his name right. I apologize. They call it Shark Tank India is a fraud show. The true picture behind this TRP driven show. I really need to do a better job at looking at names. I keep saying I'm going to, and then like, well, I don't keep saying I'm going to. I keep saying I need to, and then I don't know who that is. So he says a Shark Tank contestant contacted him saying that Shark Tank India is a fraud show and he has proof. And he wanted to share struggles about when the sharks had promised to fund him. Um, so this person reached out. At first, wasn't gonna write about it because if it was only him, an isolated case isn't like a normal thing. But then when he talked to other Shark Tank contestants who secured funding from the companies, I found out this was not a one-off case and it was a norm there. Um, Apparently, 80% of the deals made on Shark Tank India are never completed. Even if you're secure funding on the show, you will be ridiculed, embarrassed, and eventually ignored by the sharks. They will drag the process for 9 to 12 months and expect you to stop contacting them eventually. Sony TV will not help you. They are making a show for TRP and not to look after your interests. There is no legal agreement that will help you take the sharks to court for not fulfilling their promises made on TV. In short, you're helpless if you don't get your promised funding. Most of the pitches are not televised, so if you are thinking that you will get free marketing by appearing on the show, then you are mistaken. So, yeah. And then they're also saying all pitches are done during August through November. The show airs from January to March. Sharks purposely drag things out until the pitch airs. Once the pitch is aired, if it is lucky, then the sharks assess the sales uptick and also see whether other investors have contacted the founder or not. During this time, they delay the funding closure by asking for more paperwork, ghosting the founders using different excuses. If the company is not showing much sales success, then ideally they should say no. And apparently this happens in the United States too. And they say that 60% of the deals on the Shark Tank United States are never completed due to multiple reasons. And in India, sharks don't just say no, they disappear. So, yeah. And this person is saying if you're going to say no after due diligence, then just fucking do it clearly. So, yeah. Then, this article from IndianExpress.com is about why almost 50% of Shark Tank India deals never happen. Sharks say they're ghosted by founders, even face fraud. In various interviews, the sharks have shed light on the less glamorous aspects of Shark Tank India. Oh, I think that's supposed to be Shark Tank, but it's a typo. They've revealed instances where they've been ghosted by founders or encountered unregistered companies. So, yeah, and it's basically just kind of summing up everything we've been discussing. You know, it's the third thing we've talked about here on Shark Tank India not following through. And it's talking about how one specific person, Aman Gupta, recalls how a pitcher didn't respond after closing the deal in Shark Tank India. Ugh. And this is in regards to due diligence for that deal. But, and then Namita Thapar is saying that many founders have ghosted her as well. So here, when it's interesting, so it really does look like this one is called PR. So in the LinkedIn post from someone in India, we see they say it's 80% of deals and it's the investors who aren't following through. But in this press release on Indian Express, it seems to be from the sharks' point of views, and it seems to be the sharks blaming the founders, which I think is interesting. So yeah, it seems to be like a kind of cover up. So from wavy.com, we have another article on the situation. It's called Woman Suing Shark Tank. Star alleges they are part of crowdfunding scam. And this person's part of a 20-person lawsuit against the stars Kevin O'Leary and Kevin Harrington. Um, the duo, and they say that the duo participated in a crowdfunding scam, and this is from 2021. So I don't know the updates in this situation. I just know it occurred back then. That the allegations occurred. And so yeah, she said that she had an idea for a business, for a marketing company to help crowdfund business. She said eventually discovered the company Inventure X, with which Harrington had allegedly partnered and with which O'Leary was allegedly endorsing. She said she would sign with this company so she could get crowdfunded and start her business. After a little bit of time, she noticed they were not being quite as responsive or cooperative. They kept delaying. They just kept putting her off more and more to the point where she had to figure out what was really going on. Where have we heard this story before? Then she said after about a year of waiting, she decided to post a review of the business online, and that's when she found other people who had the same experience. Damn. So O'Leary and Harrington have both denied the allegations. And O'Leary's claiming that someone's using his name and likeness without knowledge or consent, that he's never heard of the companies or did business with any of the plaintiffs who filed suit. And that Harrington's attorney also released a statement denying the accusations and calling it false allegations. They were saying that Kevin never had any business arrangement or contract with any of the plaintiffs, and that this should be a dispute between the plaintiffs and Inventor X. Kevin simply did a video for the company. Okay. So, now I see. Inventor X may be a crowdfunding scam according to the title. So this is just reiterating that same deal, like that they had allegedly worked together to defraud people through the alleged use of fictional executives, false promises of financial success, and even illusions of being on the show Shark Tank itself. And they've been accused of scamming people. However, I don't know if this one wasn't posted updated, but yeah. So I will need to look into an update on this, but I believe that these two may not be involved with Inventor X. Perhaps that's the legal defense and they are involved and I'm wrong. But my understanding of the situation is they're not actually involved with Inventor X. They just like took their money for some marketing or some shit. So I will try to remember to do an update on that. That's fucking 3 things I said I should do a video or an update on, and or a live stream on. So now I gotta go through the transcript of this shit and take notes of those damn things and figure that out. Okay. So we got 2 more things I just want to check out real quick before we wrap this bitch up. So from Slime Bean, we have a little article here called "Is Shark Tank Real? How many Shark Tank deals fail?" And it talks about how every year over 40,000 companies go through months of effort trying to get a coveted spot onto one of the world's most popular shows, Shark Tank. So yeah, fucking okay. Damon, Robert, those are the people that they were mentioning in the videos that they were talking about Shark Tank investors. Okay, sorry. If you're paying attention to that Jason Cala fucking something name I can't pronounce from the Coffeezilla. But anyway, so they're saying is millions of dollars are moved to Shark Tank each season, even if it's just by the indirect effect of pitching in the TV show, due to the exposure that it can be enough to help potential investors and propel some people to success. So is that privilege of pitching the Sharks and having that opportunity for that risk worth it? People are saying it's a very nasty application process with paperwork, interviews, and auditions, all to get in front of the Sharks and pitch. And yeah, and they're saying $207 million have been invested through the show to date. But it's easy to tell a success story out of massive success cases. I've been wondering, this person says they've been wondering if this guy's actually good at investing. Is there ROI there? How many companies do they bash that go on to prove them wrong? Is the shark's instinct correct? So they analyzed the data from products, how much money was asked for, valuations, and they found some shady stuff. Like producers trying to get equity just for appearing on the show. And they found that half of the deals that were broadcasted on the show never actually closed. And so, yeah, these are the real numbers of Shark Tank. 40,000 companies apply each year to be on Shark Tank. And more often than not, it's about the personality, not the product. So yeah, there's a 17-page application kit. And they gotta have audition tapes, emails with production, and endless video calls. And they do 158 companies. That is how many pitch to sharks. But all of those don't make it to TV. Usually about 88 will make it to air in a given season across 24 episodes. And typically about 52 of those get a yes, but not out of those 52 get the money. So if we look at if that 50% from earlier number was right, then possibly 20 to 30 get the money. So yeah. I'm over here yawning. I'm sleepy. It's not even midnight. I'm calling this late night with Lexie, and it's not even midnight, and I'm yawning. Like, does this really count as late night? But like, it was. I feel like starting at 10 was a little too late to call it the evening. I don't know. So I just went ahead and named it late night. Does 10 between 10 and midnight count as late night? I don't know. Well, I guess if you want to be real technical, after midnight, it's in the morning. So, yeah, it is late night, bitches. I'm sorry. Fucking. So let's see here. So, regardless of whether or not they raised money, you were originally expected to pay 5% equity for a few minutes of fame. Damn. Yeah. And even if the sharks rejected your idea, they were going to try to take 5%. That's a lot of money. So in 2013, Mark Cuban got the company to stop charging that. How many companies actually close deals on Shark Tank? Here we go. Oh, I was right. On average, only 27 companies close out the deal per season. And they are alleging it's all due to paperwork and due diligence. Okie dokie. And they're saying it's usually the founder's fault. Wow, blame the founder. And they're saying 90% of the deals fall through because the founders believed the conditions weren't good for the business, even though they took the deal on TV. I feel like that's a different story from what I've seen allegedly out there also. But, you know, I'm not the one experiencing this. Maybe I'm wrong. So, yeah, if y'all want to read this full article, it is linked in the description of the video. And I just got one more thing that I wanted to check out before we close out tonight's session. And I wanted to check out, so in the video, it's linked, the video linked in the description of this live stream. It's called Why Shark Tank is 100% Fake from the screening. And this, I have not seen all of this yet, but it is broken down into segments with an intro. It talks about editing, financial merit, the entrepreneurs, the deal, shark reel, long hallway, wisdom, angel investors, and the biggest fakery. I feel like the deal could possibly be relevant to our live stream, but because my original main point of this live stream is to reflect on the concept of if the investors are fake or not, I'm just gonna figure we could look at what they have to say about angel investors here. So I'm gonna set the playback speed to 2 times, got my captioner on. I'm gonna mute and we're gonna just check out real quick what they have to say about the angel investors in regards to Shark Tank being potentially fake.
Number 2, angel investors rarely make these types of investments, as the companies that stand in front of them are picked by producers because of entertainment value above everything else. This gives an unrealistic idea of what other investors actually look for in a deal. Most companies that angel investors love are technology-based, like e-commerce companies, medical devices, business-to-business companies, or social networking. But you rarely see them on Shark Tank. Instead, you get products that viewers can understand easier, like sponges, food products, and doorbells. Importantly, though, investment pitches never ever...
Okay, they're totally right. So you rarely see the type of big investment into the type of deals that you're saying, but we did already discuss all of that. And that typically also goes back to not only the profitability of it. Like there are certain things that are broader concepts where like if you can execute on this, you're gonna get this amount done just based on the conversion rates, theoretically, when it comes to an offer. So when it comes to like advertising, for example, and you've got like something that you can do sell on subscription, for example, those are the types of things where you've got long-term monetization. But when it comes to a product, that's like typically a one and done type of thing. And since they cater more towards products than anything else, a lot of what they're showing isn't something that you typically get major funding for unless you have a random niche, um, like fucking relationship with some type of investor. I can't think of the word. I don't know.
Result in potential investors criticizing entrepreneurs in the way that you see in the tank. Phrases such as, "You're dead to me," or "Giving 15 seconds to decide on a deal or not." These are all just for entertainment and not reflect.
Yeah, you would never see that type of shit typically in an actual business deal unless you actually have that type of relationship with the person you're doing a deal with, where it's not a big deal for them to say that to you. But typically that would be ending the negotiation.
Of the real world at all.
Tell me right now whether you're going with me or not, or I'm out.
Number 1.
So yeah, I'm gonna end that there because that concludes. I don't want to just be using their content just to use it. So that's like, I totally agree with what they're saying. Like the type of pressure that they're doing there, it's like you never want to be doing business with someone that's trying to lock you into some type of contract that you haven't had the opportunity for you yourself to do your own due diligence on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those types of high pressure decisions, you know what I mean? You can't fully have the ability to look into and consider if that's going to be the best investment for you in that scenario, in my opinion. So to just kind of like summarize what happened with the Shark Tank issue here where we left off. So we reviewed the Coffeezilla interview with Jason Calacanis. I don't know if that's his name. Calacanis. Fucking where that interview where he talks about Shark Tank, where we highlighted that today. And so that's where I realized, okay, wait a minute, like, could the Shark Tank investors be fake? Why are people saying that? Um, and I think, whenever they're like, well, they're not actually that rich, and then you also put that to, you look at the numbers of how a lot of the deals don't get made. I guess there is a point to be made. Well, there are limitations on resources, and so they could be marketing themselves to have more resources than they actually do, or something like that. Like perhaps you could say, like, based on the material available to us, we could make an argument that perhaps they don't um, actually have the amount of resources they claim they have to invest in people. But I will say, from what I could find online, that's the closest I could find to the concept of if they are fake. The closest I could find is that they don't necessarily honor all of the deals, and that they're not necessarily like the show itself is fake, and that the deals, the way it happens, it's all more focused on entertainment rather than the way an actual negotiation and a deal is going to go down in business. And the types of offers you see on there aren't typical for the type of capital that's being invested into them. So for sources, we went over how the pandemic has been used in Shark Tank recently, and kind of, making people see a bit more of the dystopian comparison between the billionaires and the average person in some cases. We looked over a forum from YC Combinators about hacker news regarding Newton inventor says Shark Tank is all a lie, where this dude tries to sue them for not following through on investing with them. And we looked at a Medium article called Shark Tank Ain't Real, Bro, which kind of goes into, how the investments and the negotiations aren't valid representations of business. We looked into how Shark Tank allegedly hasn't been investing as much funds as they're committing. We also looked into why those deals allegedly don't happen in both India and the United States. We also looked into an alleged crowdfunding scam regarding a couple of the Shark Tank investors that actually needs, I don't know the outcome of that. So look that up yourself. If I remember to, I might follow up on that in a live stream. Um, and yeah, so marinating on all of that, and we followed up with how many Shark Tank deals fail, and a little bit of a snippet from um, a video. I forgot to make that video, and I just pulled it up too. Damn it! Hold up. What the fuck?
Shark Tank.
Whoops. From the Screeny, why Shark Tank is 100% fake. Screeny, yeah, never mind. That's it. Okay, I can't fucking spell anyway. I was trying to say SC, but I said C first by accident. Anyway, so in why Shark Tank is 100% fake video, they have a segment on angel investors that we covered, and so concludes the Shark Tank portion of today's live stream. And I'm going to take a quick little sippy sip here, and then just marinate on reflecting on the entire live stream as a whole. So yeah, today I just kind of want to reflect on and think about value alignment and business structure and organization and business relationships and negotiations and PR. How are we being transparent with others? How are we following through on what we say we're going to do? What are we doing in terms of building community, building relationships? And how are we paying attention to the ways that how we interact with the community impacts each other? I really do think that both of these situations are pretty good case studies on considering the outcome of community relationships. Particularly when we look at what I consider to be what you could consider concepts of power imbalance and group dynamics, and how community socialization can normalize types of behavior. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's interesting how we see that perpetuated throughout doing business and marketing, and how we can see um, PR used in the way different narratives are told in order for people to tell their story, and have their information put out there. So yeah, I think it's interesting to reflect on all of that. Thank you so much for watching with me. If you've been here today, like, that means a lot to me. Like, just, when people come join me with these live streams, think about these concepts with me, I always really enjoy that. Being here at this moment together means a lot to me. So fucking, I really do need to figure out, I'm gonna try and take some time this week if I can to record some outro shit. And I'm gonna try not to record too much Red Dress Run shit, 'cause I know I've spent a lot of material on it, so I don't want to just be like covering it just to cover it, but I will be covering it more if I see any additional updates, because I feel like it's kind of important to stay on top of how are current events in community where the people are going to, what type of environment are they getting themselves into. I think it's important to report on different situations and allegations and altercations that could occur, just so people can make the best decisions for themselves on how they feel with their own value alignment. So, for their own safety. So, yeah. So, be safe, stay safe. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Have a great day. I'm gonna go the fuck to sleep. I love how I'm calling this a late night show and I'm literally ending it right after midnight my time. Okay, like I used to stay out. I swear to God, dude. Fuck, man. I don't know what happened to me. I guess I'm old and shit, but whatever. Alright, good night for real this time. Bye. Thanks for watching. You might want to adjust the volume after all of this because a loud music is going to play. So yeah, adjust the volume. And then if you're coming to these lives anyway, I do have a loyalty program, nolo.child.com/loyalty. If you sign up for my site as a member and you follow the check-in procedure, you can get points just for showing up to these lives anyway. So I just want to let you know about that. Yeah, about that. Yeah, I always have a really hard time saying goodbye because, you know, saying goodbye really just kind of feels like you're Tom Hanks. You know what I mean? Over here just like, Wilson! But anywho, yeah, so thank you for being here and goodbye.